I actually known David Steele for a long time, and we've done some good work together as well. And I'm really excited. I got to see his slides last night. I got to see Greg's slides. And it's totally different being in the room with Greg and seeing him present it. So I really learned a lot. Thank you so much, Greg. Yeah. And obviously now I'm going to build more Greg stuff into my presentations because he's sitting here watching, right? And I got to see Doug's presentation too. So I really enjoy the fact that all this is connecting so well around brand, because like Greg said, brand is not just a logo. It's really every step of the way, every touch point, everything that you do reflects your brand. And I think I should be standing over here, and no matter where I stand, I'm going to be blocking someone. So I can block you. I don't want to block the ladies. So we're this last segment here. I believe this is the last round. So thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate that. How to grow your revenues with marketing and sales automation. And really, what I'm going to talk about is how do we tie all this together without having constantly be on the phone, checking emails, sending emails, and following up, and worrying whether stuff is falling through the cracks. Okay, so that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to get specific. At the end, I have a workbook that takes you through step by step of what I'm talking about, every step of the way. And we don't have time to address everything today, but if you're interested at the end, I will give you this gladly. And if I run out, I'll give you my card and I'll send you a digital copy. And then we can set some time, like an hour, and talk offline some other time. But just keep that in mind if you find value in what we're presenting here today. So let's start out with a question. Okay, so how many of you guys know this game? Yeah, you said it. Coin to toss, right? Heads or tails? Okay, let's see if I have a quarter. I just happen to have a quarter here. Wow, okay. So I got a quarter here, and here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to toss it up, call it out in the air. Heads. Wow, everyone said heads, and it became heads. So it's a mind of the will, right? So I heard it over here first. So you win a quarter. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So why do I use a quarter now, right? So if we look closely at a quarter, there's two sides to it. There's the head, and then there's the tail, obviously. And after working in businesses in one shape or another, either starting and running my own or consulting for others for over 20 years, I've learned that every business has a strong similarity to a quarter. And what do I mean by that? I mean is every business has a head and has a tail. It really does. And every business is either really good at one or the other. And as businesses grow and mature, they learn how to balance this two out so you have one solid coin. But most businesses that I work with, the reason I get called in is like, well, we're really good at the head side of things, which means we're really good at sales and marketing, and we can make it rain. And what happens after they buy it, we don't know. It just goes into this dark hole, right? And they don't know how to manage the back end. Or I'll come into companies and they just, man, we're not selling, and I don't know, but we have this really amazing system on the back end. We can manage everything. We know what everyone does at any given time. We know all our customers by first name. Great, but it's not coming in. So very much like this quarter, businesses have these two sides. And unfortunately, very much like this quarter, when it comes to decision time about what should we do for our marketing dollars, we just flip a coin, right? And we figure out, well, let's try this, let's try that. So what I want to address today is really kind of dovetail into what Greg started us out with, which is how does it all get together and how do we automate that? Because Doug and David talked about the top of the funnel, right? So they talked about this part a lot. How do we get clients in? How do we get Google pay-per-click or display networks or any of that to get them into the top here? Or how do we get LinkedIn client acquisition? How do we get them in here? And I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but I'm also really going to talk about what happens afterwards. All this stuff here, and what you might be missing out on. I worked with a client that it was him and his wife and one assistant. They were making $120,000 a month, selling one product, and he knew how to sell. He could close people on webinars. He knew how to market. And I said, well, what if we just tried this? And we put in a follow-up system on the back end. We implemented Infusionsoft, which is my CRM of choice. And I said, I can almost promise you that within 3 months, you'll be making $200,000 a month. He goes, no, because I'm not selling it. I go, that's the problem. You're the bottleneck. So we implemented a system on the back end, and within 2.5 months, he was making $180,000 a month just by proper automated follow-up. Because what I tell by follow-up is, it's not so much what you want for them, it's what they want for themselves. People don't buy when you're ready to sell. People buy when they're ready to buy. And your job is to stay in touch with them in an effective manner. Making sense? Okay. So how many guys have asked yourself these questions? Why are more people interested? Why aren't they buying from me? Right? So the first one talks about, why aren't they attracted to me? It's kind of like dating analogy. Why nobody likes me? Why aren't they buying from me? How come nobody wants to go out with me? Right? Well, I'm selling, but no one's buying. And how come no one tells their customers, tells their friends about me? You know? So how come, we've been dating now for 3 months, I haven't met your family, I haven't met any of your friends, right? So what's going on? So I'm going to address some of these key questions. And the way we're going to address it is, we're going to talk about tools and processes. Because if you only have tools and you have no processes, you got pixie dust. You got tactical stuff you're throwing around. You go, today is social, boom, social. Today's email marketing, we're doing LinkedIn, okay, Google, and you're just running around and you're not even in the eye of the storm. You are actually the storm itself, right? So the key to success is having both tools and processes that we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to break it down into 3 components. We want to attract, we want to sell, and we want to wow people. Okay, so the last part people really don't hear much about, wowing. They don't really, what does that mean? We're going to talk about that and how that is your single greatest revenue and profit driver in your company. So the first thing is attract, and we're going to break that into 3 stages. And again, this handout breaks everything down for you, so if you guys want to talk about that later, we can. So the first thing is target. Like Greg mentioned before in his keynote, and maybe David and Doug talked about as well, is you have to know your target. You can't just sell to everyone, right? If you sell to everyone, you're selling to no one. Because even though you might think, even if I'm the healthcare business, and anyone that has a body is our customer, they could get sick at any time, that's our customer. Wrong. You have to first connect with what's here, your core values, your principles, why are you doing what you're doing. If you're in business to make a difference versus just $1, you'll be successful. But I can't tell you how many times I walked away from a potentially very lucrative engagement because they were just in it to make a buck, not to make a difference. So when you're in it to make a difference for others, now you begin to learn, okay, what is it they want? What are they looking for? What are the demographics? By the way, demographics is just basically who they are. So age, gender, income, location, things like that. The psychographics is another basic. That's basically why are they buying? What motivates them? So 2 tools that I know of, and maybe, I'm sure Greg knows many others, but American Fact Finder is one that's really taps into the U.S. Census Bureau, and you can type in anything and then they'll pull up stats galore, but you need to make sense of it. The second thing is Nielsen Prism, P-R-I-Z-M. This is really cool. I tried it out the other day. I put in the zip code for Santa Monica, and a certain zip code where one of my offices is, and it pulled up like, okay, here's who lives in Santa Monica, and they totally made these little avatars, personas of the technology snob, the sophisticated this, and then each one had like a graph. It was really cool. You should check it out. Prism, P-R-I-Z-M, right? And then you get an image of who that person is, which brings me to the next point. How many of you are selling to people, customers, even if you're selling to companies? The final decision makers are what? People, right? Yet how many of you look at your target market as a data set? Right? You look at your target market, you look at it, you go, this is their income, this is their demographic, this is where they live, here's, it's just data. You're just looking at it. What Greg calls persona, I call avatars, but it's the same thing. Avatar, persona, make it human. It's basically what we're both saying, right, Greg? Make it human. So when we go back to targeting, we want to find this guy right here, right? First we have this whole crowd, we go, now we want this guy, right? And now we find this guy, what is his interest, and how does he stand out from the crowd? You're good? Now we can have a conversation with him. Anyone ever been on a bad date, on a bad relationship? Just me? Okay. Just 2 hands went up. I was like, oh, everyone else has been at blissful dates and relationships. And man, what was your secret? So when you're sitting down, and I venture to say, The times that you've been on bad dates or poor relationships have been the time when no one was listening to you, and it was all about them. But the times that you've been on good dates or been in good relationship, it's been a time when you felt valued and appreciated, right? So how are you making your prospects and your customers valued and appreciated? How are you making it about them and not you? How are you communicating to them that you can help them because you care, because you have certain principles and values and vision and mission? So that's what goes into creating the right target. So this is a sample avatar, what Greg would call a persona, right? And we call him Adam Avatar. You don't have to be able to read it. I'm just going to glance over it, but it gives an idea. I really want to challenge you this week to look at who it is that you want to help in the marketplace. And if you can't give that nebulous entity a name and write a story about them, you got to start from scratch. You have to start from scratch. I worked on a project with a gentleman named Michael McClure, who's down here in San Diego. And he, over the last 13 years, has figured out a way to sell solar panels to homes. He walks into a home, and 2.5 hours later, he walks out with a $30,000 order, and he doesn't go back again. And he closes 50% of the time. And he's an environmentalist. He goes, Jonathan, I'd like to teach other sales reps how to do this because, two, I really know I'm onto something here. No one else is getting these closing ratios that I'm getting. Number two, if more people sell solar panels, that aligns with my vision of an environmentalist. I want to make this place a better world. And it'll give me passive income. I go, okay, let's be honest, that's also about that. I said, okay, so who's your target market? He goes, well, you know, sales reps, solar panels, go. I'm like, no. All right, sales reps, solar panels, San Diego, go. I'm like, no. It's like, what do you want from my life? I go, I want you to think about all the salespeople that you've trained in the past, because he's trained quite a few. I want you to think about what do they have in common? Who are they? Male or female? Age range? What are they going through? Why are they in solar panel sales now? What do they do before? What are their hopes and aspirations? It's like, okay, I got it. One day later, he sent me this whole list of Art. Art was 34, divorced, with 2 kids, paying alimonies, making $50,000 a year, looking to make $100,000 a year, wanted to spend more time with his kids and go more on vacation. And Art was pissed off. Can I say pissed off? Yeah. Art was ticked off because he knew he could be more and he just didn't know what to take him over the edge. And he was only closing 20% of his sales. It's like, okay, now we're talking. Let's talk about Art. How can we help Art? Well, we could do this, that, and the other. So now, every time I have a conversation with Michael, the next one's tomorrow, I was like, okay, we're building these nice sites and opt-ins and pages, and we're productizing the whole thing. Basically, I took his whole mindset out and said, okay, how do we productize that and create a membership platform? So we did that. I go, how would Art like that? Oh, he wouldn't. Okay, so let's not do it. What is Art looking for? You know, if we did this in here, Art would be, he would love that. Okay, let's build it. So now that becomes kind of the guiding light. Not so much what I want, but what Art wants. And now we tested it out, and we put up a few sample ads here and there, just with an opt-in page saying, hey, get on the waiting list. And people loved it. They're like, yeah, I want in. So how do you find Art? That's the next question. And how do you attract their interest? That's the next slide, just happens to be there. How do we attract interest? Well, we gotta give some value to give value. That's really the bottom line. And how do we stand out? So when everyone's just bombarding us to the tune of 3,500 ads a day, like Greg was saying, and we're just like overwhelmed. Any pet owners in here? Yes. Pet owners, dog? Oh, there's a dog right here? Okay. What's your dog's name?
Shayna Punim.
Shayna Punim?
Shayna?
Shayna?
Punim. In Hebrew, Shayna is beautiful, Punim is face.
Ah, Shayna. Okay, Shayna Punim. So Shayna is how old?
She'll be 7 at the end of May.
7 at the end of May. Okay. And your name?
Karen.
Karen. All right. So I'm not saying Karen is the market for a green car right now, but I'm saying, you know, Karen is a dog owner. And her dog's name is Shayna. And she's how old again? 6.5. Okay. And I'm just going to do a hypothetical, and I wish it will never happen for Shayna, but I'm just going to do a hypothetical. Let's say Karen sees one day that Shayna starts walking a little weird. but she has a hard time getting up the stairs. And she suspects like
Hip dysplasia.
she might have some with the hips, or she might have arthritis. She might have something. And I'm going to assume that Shayna is not a dog expert. I'm just a dog owner. You sound like a dog expert. And so Shayna's going to look at it and go, well, before I take her to the vet, let me do a little research. All right, so I do a little research. I go to Google, wherever the search engine is of choice. I start typing in, how do I know if my dog has arthritis? Or does my dog have arthritis? Or whatever the combination of that is. My dog's walking funny. What's wrong? Right? So now if I optimize my site for certain keywords, I can show up and I can show 7 telltale signs that your dog might have arthritis and what to do about it. Are you interested? All of a sudden she's interested. Right? Because I'm speaking to a specific need. I might be a vet. I might have a hospital, 3 miles from here that I want her as a client. But right now I just want to help her. I just want to give her value. So I'm going to attract that interest. So then I'm going to say, well, here's now what I've got to do is, now you're on my site. I'm going to give away the 7 telltale signs why a dog might have arthritis and how you can cure your dog. And one of those 7 things might be nutrition. Change your dog's diet after the age of 5. I'm just totally making this up. After the age of 5, change. Yeah, don't do this to your dog at home. I'm just making this up. This is purely hypothetical, right? So change your dog's diet after the age of 5. It might help with hips, arthritis, whatever the common thing is. So what you do then is, she says, yeah, I want that. Okay, Karen, what's your email? What's your name? We'll send it to you right away. And we'll include a video as well. This is really helpful. So now my system on the back end, when it's set up correctly, is I know what her need is right now, is arthritis. So I'm going to send her the ebook today. Am I going to send her a flyer tomorrow about how great we are? No. She doesn't care about me. She cares about her dog. So tomorrow or in 3 days from now, I send her an email saying, here's a video of how this dog's life was impacted after changing its nutrition. You watch the video, you go, oh, this is great. A week later, I go, here's another PDF. Research shows that blah, 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 blah. She reads that. And while she's doing all that, my system is keeping track on the back end. What she clicked on, what she read, what she viewed, which videos, how much time she spent on the video. And it tells my system whether she's interested or not, whether she's engaged or not. Now, people buy from people they like and trust. So what I'm doing right now is I'm following Stephen Covey. You guys heard of Stephen Covey?
Yeah.
7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'm establishing my emotional bank account with her. I'm establishing trust. The more deposits I'm making into Karen's account on Shayna's behalf, I'm building up trust. I haven't said a word about what I do as a vet. I'm just depositing. Here's more information, more information. And at the bottom, there's always a call to action. Got questions, call us. Want to see us, call us. Want to make an appointment, click here and we'll make an appointment. But it's never about, here's 10% off. No, it's about money. It's not about the relationship. You guys follow?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So collecting leads, we just touched that a little bit, and here's what most people do. They just put up a bunch of forms. And some of you in the back are frowning, what is that? Exactly, what the hell is this? It's a bunch of forms. And they're just screaming, give me, give me, give me, give me. Give me your email address. What's your name? Lisa? Give me your email address, Lisa, and I'll send you a newsletter. I don't care about newsletter. Lisa, give me your email address, and I'll keep you updated about upcoming events. What events? Lisa, give me your email address, and I'll do something. Just give me your email address, because I got to collect leads. I went to Corporate Alliance, and this guy was talking about collecting leads. I got to have your email, Lisa. Damn it. Give me your email address. And you're like, no, 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 right? Going back to the dating analogy, if someone comes on too strong, you're like, no, whoa, whoa, whoa. Sit down. What's in it for me, right? Favorite radio station everyone listens to, WIIFM. You guys have heard of that? No? Okay, WIIFM. IIFM. So these are, sign up now, free this, free that. It doesn't really speak to your needs. What I'm talking about is creating these lead magnets that speaks to specific needs. So you're in the printing business, right? And by the way, great job. I love them.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you did a great job on these. Michael did a really, really nice job. So you're in the printing business, and I spoke with the young man that works with you, Jeremy? No. James,
Yeah.
something with J. He was at my table, and I was challenging him. I'm going to challenge you a little bit now in front of everybody else. That one of the things you can do is look at your past customers' purchasing behavior and look at what they've done and when and how they buy and why they buy, and maybe even interview them of what the biggest pain points were that you solved for them. Maybe it was around service, maybe it was around communication, transparency, quality of delivery. I know you do same day or next day delivery, which is huge. You do digital prints versus, what's it called, offset?
Media.
Yeah.
We do digital sampling. So
Digital, yeah.
Before you buy.
Exactly, right?
See what you're getting.
Exactly.
No charge.
So all of those things, like you want to look at what sets you apart from everybody else. If everyone else doing that, then the reason they bought from you is not what you think it is. So go back and talk to them. Why did you buy from us? And you don't have to offer them 10% off the next purchase. Say, hey, can we go get some coffee? Can I take you out to lunch? How about, depending on how big the account is, can I take you out for dinner? Or can I just, I just want to have a conversation with you, right? Because at the end of the day, we're in the people business. And we want to help each other out. And going back to what our core values are, what we believe in, and how we can be of help is how we want to spread it out to the rest. So these forms are a big no-no. Because you need to provide value in order to get value, right? That's really what it comes down to. What you put out there is what comes back. You guys ever heard the saying, you gotta give to what? It's not true. You gotta give to give. That's the bottom line. You gotta give for the purpose of giving, not for the purpose of getting. You guys ever walk into a car lot and the guy approaches you or a woman approaches you and they just have commission breath all over them? They're like, whoa, man. Whew. I can't, right? Or any store where it's commission driven, you're just like, oh, man. Nordstrom, yeah, I don't know. But my point is, like, I see these T-shirts, like things fitting on a T-shirt. I see, you got to give to get. You got to give to get. All of a sudden, it becomes conditional giving. And if I don't get back, I want to be pissed, right? But if you just give to give, here you go. Here, Karen, this is for your dog. Here's a bunch of all videos and testimonials and all this other stuff. Enjoy. Be well, right? Sei gesund, go. So there you are. And if any point anything comes up, she's like, man, Jonathan was really helpful. Maybe it's time for her, I don't know if there's an annual checkup or something like that, maybe, or quarterly after a certain age. Let me go see him, But it's because now I'm anchoring my brand in her mind with a relationship. Make sense? So going back to how do we automate all this? We can automate all of this the moment we have clarity. When is automation right for you? When you know that you're doing the same thing over and 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 over again to different people, but you're not getting better results. Right? So, man, everyone that inquires on my site, everyone that calls, they have the same questions, I'm answering the same things. So could I come up with some of the process that lets them self-guide them, they self-guide them their own way through the answer they're looking for? Right? They click here, they watch this, they call in, there's a call to action. How many of you work with sales teams, have a sales team on your staff? One person? Okay, how many salespeople?
Well, I work in real estate, so about 130.
Okay. So let's just say that you have a sales team, maybe not 130, but let's just say, okay, 130. But let's say your sales team, instead of pounding the phone for leads and prospects, they get an alert saying, this person now watched these videos, downloaded all these PDFs, is extremely interested because they just clicked on this link, and obviously based on your own criteria, that means it's a hot lead. So now we get into selling. Okay? So now we got to sell them. To sell them, we got to educate them, we got to offer them something, and we got to close them. So let's talk about education. It really goes back to what I said before. You're educating, you're not pitching. How many times have you opted in for educational material and it's like, starts are really nice. Thanks for, asking for this education on how to, do this and the other. And you read through it and there's a, click here to buy now. Whoa, whoa, okay. Let me scroll further down. Click here to buy now. Whoa. And there's only 5 left. And if you don't buy now, little girls in San Diego are going to lose their teeth, and you got to buy now. And you're like, whoa. Hold on, man. I wanted to get educated. I can't deal with you right now. Who else is out there? Okay, just went out the window. So when you're educating, it's the same thing. You got to give to what? Give. You got to educate to? Educate, yes. So everything you do has to be for its own purpose. When you're giving, you're giving. When you're educating, you're educating. When you're making the offer, you're making the offer. And when you're closing, you're closing. And by the way, the close is not a stressful situation if done right. The close is a natural conclusion to anything that happened before that. They go, yeah, here's my credit card. Yeah, I want this. Or whatever the case may be, however people pay. Making sense? All right. And lastly, think about, what do they care about? What is it that they care about? Now the offer, this is where you, ideally, peace out already?
Peace, we're done. I was going to finally finish up.
All right. So the offer is really, it comes down to this. If you understand your clients and your customers well enough, you know at what point, and Greg talked a little bit about this, at what point are they willing to make a buying decision, right? So let's say with Shayna, if I send her the PDF on arthritis and how to heal it, nutrition, there's an awareness. I send her some. If I send her an offer right then and there, I'm going to turn her off probably. But if I know dog owners well enough, I know that based on past experience and interviewing and understanding my client base, I know that most dog owners, they really want to do their research. They want to know what other people think, testimonials, and then I make them an offer. So what I'm going to do with Shayna is I'm going to send her this. I'm going to send her some more information. I'm going to send her some research. I'm going to send her some testimonials, some of our people that we worked with, some other dog owners. I want to send her how this works for others. I'm going to send her all this information because I know she's most likely going to buy over here. And then I'm going to say, hey, Shayna, by the way, as a valued member of our community, we'd like to offer you a full year membership to our concierge service at whatever the price may be. With that, you get bop. You go, oh, yeah, because you already told me how you handled this, and Ginger's now doing a lot better. Sorry, not Ginger. Ginger was the last one.
Okay.
No, Shayna.
I'm Karen, then Shayna.
Shayna, yeah.
But Shayna learned to read, so she's doing great.
Oh, good. So then at that point, you make the offer, right? So know along what point of the process do people want to make the offer. Another thing you can do is, we use Infusionsoft for everything, is lead scoring. So like I said before, if I have a sales team or someone that sells in my office, it might be you even, you want to have this surface to the top and go, this guy here, Pepe Pizza Delivery, has watched everything that we have to offer. They're really engaged, they're really interested. They got a lead score that you determine how you want to set up that lead score. Call them now, they're hot. Okay, so it could be way before what you thought. It could be before you over here. She might be hot to buy something right now, right here. So lead scoring helps you with that. In order to establish lead scoring or any other metric, lead scoring may not be for you. It just means like if they've asked the right questions. By the way, any one of us in sales know that objections are what? They're buying signals. Objections are buying signals. Because if it wasn't for the objections, they would probably be a customer already. So we just need to help them get through the objections. So the more questions people ask, the more interested they are. Some of you are looking at me puzzled, but it's actually the truth. Think about the last time you were interested in buying something, you had a bunch of questions. There might have been objections, but if addressed right, you're like, oh yeah, makes sense, here's my money. So now we're going to close them, and obviously it's not just an exchange of money, we're establishing a relationship. And that's nurturing that relationship is what wowing is all about. Now we got to wow them, okay? And wowing them is about really three things: deliver and wow, offer more, and ask for referrals. So now we're going to deliver and wow them. How could you wow someone for maybe $5? You could send them a card. You could send them a Starbucks card. You could make it personal. A financial firm company. Every time they sign up a new customer, they send them a little bonsai tree, and a note that said, thank you so much for becoming a customer. We look forward to growing this relationship with you. And there's a little bonsai tree. You're like, oh, yeah. Every time I look at the bonsai tree, my financial advisor, we're growing together, my nest egg. It's clever. So think about how can you wow them beyond like, you pay it, here, go, right? And now we want to offer more. And I know this is a very health conscious community in San Diego, so I apologize ahead of time for the fry analogy, but there's a cross sell, obviously. You're buying fries, offer a burger. So Amazon analogy is you're buying something, people also bought this, you might want to buy it. Yeah, well, if they bought it, I got to have it, right? Obviously. The other one is the upsell, which is you want more, you just spent $100 for 1 unit of this, for only $25 more, we'll double up and send it in the next 3 days. Because now the company already covered their marketing costs, and anything beyond that is pure gravy. So for $25 more, they'll double up and they'll wow the hell out of you. And next one is something new. Hey, you just bought fries. You want a healthy way of eating fries? Throw some salad and put in the wrap and you're good to go. You get my point. You got to offer maybe something new that's related to what they're doing. Lastly, you want to get referrals. Anyone in e-commerce? No one? Okay, so whether you're in e-commerce or whether you sell anything at all, online or offline, your biggest promoters are going to be your existing customers. And if you've done tastefully, and if done right, you can actually enroll them and say, you know what, what's your name? Rob. Rob, I've been helping you now for 6 months, and I've grown your business. Do you have any friends, anyone you can know, anyone you think of that might be in a similar situation? Just think about it. And if Rob says, well, what's in it for me? I was like, okay, he wants money, we'll figure something out. Or maybe I'll give him a Starbucks card or some fries with that, I don't know. But we'll figure something out. And that concludes basically the whole process of attracting, selling, and wowing. Before I leave, I want to say thank you for being attentive. I know this was the last one. Hopefully I used my time wisely. You guys got something out of it. If you want to continue the conversation, I have a few more left of these. Anyone interested in filling this out? And thank you.